Peeps, it's your boy Atypical Security Guard. I am right outside of the post office sending out patches to my man Matthew, my man Oscar, and my man Joshua. Just want you guys to know that when you order your patches, they generally will come with a free slap. This is the coffee slap, right? Just a little sticker that gets put in there. So I did a video about 2 months ago that talked about the meaning behind the Silhouette logo. So the Silhouette logo is the overweight security guard. It's on the major league red and blue type backing. I talked about how that silhouette represents Richard Jewell. Richard Jewell being the famous security guard that called out the bomb that was placed at the Olympic Village in 1996. He was able to get organizers and police officers to move a large crowd away from this concert area, and he saved hundreds, if not thousands, of lives. This was a terrorist attack that was taken out by a guy named Eric Rudolph. The diligence and the vigilance of Richard Jewell paying attention to that situation, it saved a lot of lives. And Richard kind of embodies what it means to be a security guard. He took his job seriously. He was focused on what he was doing, but he was often ridiculed. He was ridiculed for being overweight. He was ridiculed for taking his job seriously, and he was ridiculed for being a security guard. So that logo, that silhouette of him, it's paying respect to everything that he represents, what he stood for, what he fought for, and it's a way for us to honor him. So I really, really love that logo. One of our other patches that we have is the Bones and Brew logo, okay? And these patches they're fucking dope, man. I get these made overseas, and the company that makes these patches, they're 3x3 square, and the detail in the patches are absolutely amazing. This patch represents my t-shirt company, Bones and Brew. Two things that I absolutely love. Skull imagery. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I have over 30 tattoos. A lot of my tattoos are skull imagery, rose imagery. I'm really into that. And then clearly with like two-way t-shirts, military style t-shirts, you generally have a lot of skull imagery, right? Also, I love coffee. So I incorporated those two things into this logo. I generally have a hat that's kind of a representation of me working myself to the bone. That's what most of us do in private security. If you're a contract security guard, you're putting in those hours. You're putting in those hours, and the only way that you're able to stay awake and to keep moving is to stay caffeinated. So that's how I developed this logo. It's the security guard that's working himself to the bone and is only able to keep moving by staying caffeinated. That's where the Bones and the Brew came up. The third logo that we have right now on our patches is the Be Great Atypical Security Guard logo. This is a three-sided honeycomb with a bee that has a skull face. And the detail on this patch is fucking sick. This came out exactly like I wanted, exactly like I drew it up. And my man was able to create this. This is a 3-inch patch. Now, we've talked about the Major League logo. I've talked about the origins of the Bones and Brew and what that stands for. People have asked me, what's the point of the honeycomb and the bee with the skull face? Well, the 3 rings of the honeycomb represent Atypical Security Guard, ASG, right? The bee itself is a play on the phrase be great. If you follow my channel, you know that I end every single one of my streams, every single one of my videos with the phrase be great. I've never told you guys much about that, but when I was a kid, and you have to remember that I grew up first generation, middle class, integrated in Arkansas. My parents grew up under segregation. They went to segregated schools. They lived in a segregated society. And as my parents got older and moved on into adulthood, that came to an end, luckily so. So for me and my sister, we were the first generation of our family and first generation of Black Americans who were allowed to live in a unsegregated area of Arkansas. When I was a child, anywhere that I would go, anything that I would do, any place that I would find myself, my dad would always tell me, "Hey, make sure you be good." And what he meant by that was not act good or carry yourself good. What he meant was be good. We always talked about the types of situations that I could find myself in as a young kid, specifically as a young black kid, that could get me in trouble. And when I say get me in trouble, I'm not talking about just the normal trouble that kids find themselves in. Guys, you have to remember, in Arkansas at this point in time, certain things, certain areas, certain places that I could have found myself in, it could have led to me getting arrested, could have led to me getting killed. So we talked a lot about respecting authority. We talked a lot about understanding how to speak to adults. We understood how to uh, just carry yourself when you're in society in order to not get yourself into trouble. So my dad always saying, be good, as I left the house, that was like the final thing that he would always tell me. Keep that in your heart. Keep that in your mind. Always be good. Always make sure you're doing the right thing. You're in the right place. You're making the right decisions. As I got older, that kind of became my mantra, but I flipped it to be great, right? Because being good, that's like the base level of what you should do in life, right? In any form of life. But as I've gotten older, I understood that in most situations, whether you are working, whether you're in school, no matter where you are as a person, sometimes you find yourself in situations where sometimes being good is not good enough. Think about that as it relates to private security, right? As a private security guard, you can do your job, you can show up, you can be 110% in line with what you're there for, and people still have an issue with our industry. It doesn't matter how good you are as a private security guard. The fact that you're a private security guard, it brings ridicule. People make fun of you. People automatically disrespect who you are and disrespect what you do, right? There's not a lot of pride. There's not a lot of prestige that comes with working in private security. Just think about Richard Jewell. Richard Jewell did exactly what he was hired to do. He was watching, he was observing, he reported what he saw. The people that he reported this bomb to, they didn't believe him. In fact, when the bomb went off and it was shown that Richard Jewell had saved all of these people's lives, guess who they blamed for planting the bomb? Richard Jewell. Because the thought process was a private security guard surely could not have been paying attention, seen what he saw, and saved all these people. He had to have been the guy who put that bomb in that location. Oh, the disrespect. That would never come at a police officer. That would never come at a detective. The fact that a private security guard did that and saved all those people, it was absolutely unrealistic that he could have been the person to have saved those people. That's my point, is that you cannot be good enough as a private security guard to garner the respect of people. You have to be great. You have to separate yourself so much in every aspect of what you do to elevate yourself and to elevate your profession. Guys, listen, I have a YouTube channel. Yes, my YouTube channel has a measly 11,000 followers. But what separates me as a security guard with the YouTube channel from almost every other security guard channel out there? I have over 10 national appearances on Fox News, on Newsmax, on other national platforms. Every single time, regardless of what I'm on those national platforms talking about, it says Damian Bunting, private security officer from Portland, Oregon. A private security guard talking about issues, a private security guard talking about politics, a private security guard talking about things that involve not only Portland, but national news and issues. That's elevating. when I work in my capacity as a security guard, I am often finding myself in situations where, sorry, I had a little glitch there. The way that I relate to people, the way that I do everything that I can to try and ingratiate myself with the people that are involved in any aspect of working security, I try to elevate myself. I try to elevate the profession. This channel specifically is set out to educate, motivate, train, and inform new and upcoming security guards, to offer a platform for them to be able to learn the things that were necessary that weren't there when I set out to learn them myself in private security, right? So the B in the design is a literal representation of being great. Be great. That's what it represents. Greatness, elevation, separating yourself. And the honeycomb stands for the three letters ASG. Almost said ATG. ASG, atypical security guard. So anyway, that being said, when you order your patches, okay, whether it's this patch, or the major league patch, I don't have a major league patch on me, you will get a slap and you will also get a business card. I don't have the business cards in front of me, but everybody gets a slap while supplies last with their purchase. So I wanted to come on, just let you guys know, because a lot of people have asked, look, you made a video talking about the major league security patch. You haven't discussed the Bones patch, and you definitely haven't discussed the B patch. But all that being said, I'm about to take these into the post office, send these out to Matthew, Oscar, and Joshua. I want to thank you guys for your support. I want to thank you for being a part of this platform, and I want to thank you for supporting Bones and Brew Security Gear. I can't talk this morning. Bones and Brew Security Gear.com, and helping me to get our products out. I want people to see security guards wearing security gear and seeing them in t-shirts, seeing them in graphic tees that represent what we do. It's time for us to take back our industry. Be proud of who we are, proud of what we do, and proud of what we represent. We shouldn't be out here wearing thin blue line shirts and military shirts and all this other cap. Like, let's focus on what we're doing in private security and uplift that aspect of our industry. All right, let me go ahead and get this shit out. Y'all have a great day. I got plenty of content coming today. All right, as always, watch your six, watch your back.